Hello, my name is Jason Orbis and I'm with Incomply. We are an environmental consulting company. We're ready to now start. $80 billion. $80 billion is the amount of fines that the EPA issued last year. Only the EPA didn't call them fines. You know what they called them? Revenues. That's right, and the cities, states, counties, and the federal government are looking for more revenue. This is not going to get any easier anytime soon. 3 companies learned this the hard way. Caltrans, Tyson Foods, and Walmart. Fined anywhere between $3 million to $12 million. And companies are having a hard time. Even Caltrans is a government-related company. It's not immune for these difficulties. And how many people see themselves as this? A contractor, when you walk in, how many times you have to do paperwork? Before you're even breaking ground, maybe you're doing environmental studies, impact reports. Haven't had a chance to do the job, and you just want to bid, but you got the economy barreling down at you. You got the bid mentality pushing down prices while costs are getting up, and it becomes more and more difficult. And then companies like Walmart, they walk in and Walmart says, you know what, we don't want to get sued again, so here's our regulations. And they put that on the table, and the next thing you know, those are new regulations that you got to train your staff, you got to learn, and then Caltrans walks in. And they just got fined $13 million, so you know that those regulations are going to be good. You want to do business with them, we have to do those regulations now. Now we're surrounded by paperwork, and we haven't even got a chance to start breaking ground. And how many times have you won a project maybe where it spanned different cities, states, and counties, and you had regulations of different counties and governing bodies? Now you're surrounded by paperwork, problems, confusions, and headaches. And companies usually handle this in one of 3 ways. One way, we spoke to a company three weeks ago, and what they did is they hired an environmental officer. Now this may work for you if you don't mind adding anywhere between $150,000 to $250,000 on your payroll. A lot of companies can't do that, so what they'll do is they'll hire and contract out a consultant. And what does the consultant do? They walk in and they say, if you don't do this, you get fined. If you don't do this, your project gets shut down. And they kind of use some fear tactics, right? And then what they'll do is they'll say big words and use complicated jargon. And there's only one reason why we do this, or why they do this. Is they want to go ahead and they want to say high fees. Give you the bill and justify the bill. And other companies, they can't afford that. And so what they'll do is they'll say, we'll figure it out. And unfortunately what happens is that they might end up putting themselves in liability and losing money because they might miss an inspection. Or just as bad as what they'll do is unnecessary work. They're not sure, they just do something that's not necessary. We had a company a couple months ago that sent 10 of their staff to train with us. And they did this because they thought it was required. But we came to find out that this company had only 20 people, so they sent half their staff. And it was only required that they send 1. 10 times too much. And a lot of people are losing man hours. There's higher costs, there's increased liability, there's tons of confusion, and we know there's got to be a better way to stay in compliance. And there is. At Incomply, we do one thing differently. No fear tactics. We ask the question, what can make it simple? What can make it easy and cheaper for you? Now granted, do we have experts? Absolutely. We have tons of experts. Everybody does. What about certificates? I can show you our business cards. We got nice letters about our name. Everybody has those certifications. Everybody has experience. I'll be honest with you, we have decades of experience, but everybody does. What sets us apart is that we look to ways to make it simpler and cheaper for you. One of the things we did is we created the first of its kind. We're the first company to do this, develop cloud-based software. And let me tell you what this does. Simply put, it reduces the amount of paperwork, 90% gone. It reduces your carbon footprint. It's going to take you from this to this. So imagine walking into your office and instead of having piles of paperwork, you have a dashboard. You don't want to do it in the office, you'd rather go on the field, no problem, because this, it can go on your PDA, your laptop, your cell phone, it doesn't matter, you can connect to this. And what this does is it will prioritize tasks so you know what's important. It will reduce the cost, and that way you do what's necessary. Nothing more, nothing less. Imagine how much time you could save and spend on the project. Think for a second. A regulator comes in, they look at your project, and they tell you the defects, but instead of that, Instead of that, we have this new system where they log on in their office. They go online and they see that you've submitted all your reports, that everything is in order. You've uploaded pictures that are recent, and they can see that your site is in compliance. Imagine what that could do for your company. How much time that could save. I bet you could think of other things you could do with that time. All we need is give us all your projects. You hand over your projects to InComply. We'll take over the rest from start to finish. We'll simplify your compliance needs. And what I'd like to do right now is to set up a time so we can do this. So we can customize and tailor a specific plan for you and your compliance needs. By doing business with InComply, we'll simplify environmental compliance, saving you time, money, and the environment. Any questions?